isn't
Wow,
that exactly what
so
happened
profound.
in Genesis chapter 3 with Eve? You just broke down 3 categories there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it almost seems like in Genesis chapter 3, it tells us that Adam and Eve were tempted with the fruit on the tree, and then they fell, and then verse 15, the promise. The promise in verse 15 is telling us that at some point in history, the Messiah would come and nail it where she failed.
That's right.
Be victorious where she fell. So 3 temptations. And First John chapter 2, you said that you were quoting from
14,
is-
15, 16.
is 3 categories.
15, 16, 17.
And those
Yeah.
3 categories, I'm just saying, you can see that in Genesis 3. It's almost like repeat and enlarge. History
Not,
repeats
in
itself.
other words, not the legitimate desire part, but the 3
Yeah,
temptation part.
he's approaching
Yeah.
at 3 different
Lust of the
angles.
flesh, lust of the eyes, pride of
Is
life.
there anything
Which is what
fascinating?
she was tempted with, in other words. She was
That's
tempted
right.
with lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and pride of life. You'll be like God.
Because it says that the fruit
Was
the
good
desire
to the
be
eyes.
wise.
Right.
Make one
You'll be
wise,
like
pleasant
God.
to the eating.
You'll be like God. I love, before we move on here, I just love it here where Satan makes an offer to Jesus, and he says, the glory of all the kingdoms of the world, I will give this to you. If you, so this is interesting because Satan is claiming ownership of all the kingdoms of the world. So when Jesus comes into this world in the incarnation, he's stepping into
Satan territory.
Satan's territory. He's
Enemy
coming to
territory.
reclaim
Enemy-occupied territory.
enemy-occupied territory.
Luke's gospel renders it a little bit different and expands the idea in verse 6 of chapter 4, verse 6 of the Gospel of Luke. All this authority I will give you in their glory, for this has been delivered to me.
That's right.
So the for this has been delivered to me part is referring back to the fall in Genesis
right.
3.
We delivered him because we were given
human
dominion.
beings were given the stewardship of the earth. We're given the earth. You remember we referenced in a previous conversation Psalm 115, the heavens, even the whole heavens are the Lord's, but the earth he has given to the children of men. So Adam and Eve are the co-regents of planet Earth, and by their fall, not only was it a moral fall, but it was a governmental fall.
There's a legal element to it.
Yeah, there was a legal transfer of power into the hands of the enemy, and that's why Jesus even, in chapter 12 of the Gospel of John, refers to him as the prince or the ruler
Of this world.
Yeah.
Jesus does not, and I know we have to take a break here, but I just want to say this real quickly. Jesus does not deny that the world was Satan's to give. When he says, all this I will give you, he doesn't say, who do you think?
Right.
He understands and acquiesces to a basic legality in the fact that you have a regency of this earth.
And he's about to take it back.
That's right.
By a different set of principles,
That's
by a
right.
different means. And that's what we'll be looking at
In the
when we
third,
come
yeah.
back after the break.